And good evening, and welcome to episode 42, 2019. Oh, Paul, you've got great internet this week. You're looking really good this week. Oh, Chris. So, Paul, first episode into the new year. We'll get onto the Christmassy stuff after we've done the news and stuff, but how has everything been for you? How's your week been? I know you've literally just gone back to work, mate. Well, you've been on and off at work, haven't you? I know you've
Yeah,
been on and off at
I've
work.
been in and out over the holiday. Nothing too major.
And but how's everything been? You glad to be back in sort of the first day of like routine today?
I hate it, mate. I spent £10 of my own money yesterday on Euro Millions lottery. Yeah, it's £327 million. And Dave Disco was at ours, and I said, if I win, you can have the fucking shops. And he says, fuck that, I ain't doing no more shifts down there.
Bless you. So just to say that you didn't win, then is that what you're telling us?
No, we had one number out of four. I think it's £2.50 a go, ain't it, on the Euro Millions?
Yeah.
Mate, I don't think me and Tasha used to do the lottery right back in the day when I first got with us 10 years ago. And that was because we were that skimp. We used to waste one of our pounds trying to become millionaires.
Just that lucky dip.
Literally, we had it on lot where we had the same numbers every month and it just was a direct debit. I think we used to have 2 or 3 rows. So it was about fucking 12 quid a month, and we ended up cancelling it because we just couldn't afford the 12 quid a month, quite honestly. Yeah, we had to spend it on SMA and nappies and fucking baby wipes and that because we had a new rat addition.
We'll get to that soon.
All I'm saying is, I don't mind being back at work. I would have liked to have gone back on Monday just because the kids don't go back until Monday/Tuesday. My birthday's on Tuesday, so I'm off Tuesday anyway. So actually, if I'd have gone back Wednesday next week, I'd have had a nice, decent break. And we've had a nice break anyway. It's been busy. Tonight is probably the first night it's just been me, Tash, and the kids in the house. There's always been someone in here. We've had people over and friends over, and family over, and I'm eating Snickers. All in aid of my new diet for 2019.
What? We get some nuts diet.
Protein, mate. I'm on a high protein diet. I honestly don't mind going to work. It's just next Wednesday would have been much nicer.
Yeah, just after your birthday and a little bit of time of chill, get back into routine. Well, the kids go back. When do the kids go back? 7th. That's your birthday. They go back, don't they?
No, Sinead goes back on the 7th, and my birthday's on the 8th, and the 2 girls go back on the 8th.
Oh yeah, 7th's the Monday, isn't it? Because that's when Poppy goes back to
fucking childminder on the 8th, so it's just me and Tasha on the 8th.
Oh, Emmy does.
Yeah, she did start before Christmas a couple of hours here and a couple of hours there. Then she had chicken pox, so we had to pull her out.
Yeah, they go ape shit with like that because Poppy goes back on the 7th. Result. And I love having the kids at home, and you're going to say exactly the same thing. I love having the kids at home, but it's just that I just want a 5 minutes fucking peace without watching Peppa Pig and fucking playing with fucking makeup toys. Tasha.
Yeah.
Poppy has not put that doll down. Just to let you know, the doll is not being put down. So just to let you know, we have already got.
Or is that the twin of the one that?
No, she's got mixed rice though. Poppy has.
Oh, Poppy's got the mixed rice one, hasn't she?
Yeah, I've always wanted a mixed race kid.
We bought we bought a set of twins for reborns for Ava and Mare. And when they come, I was a bit like, to be fair, they weren't even. I'm not giving it the bigger. They're about 240 quid, I think, for the 2. So 120 each isn't too bad for reborns, but they weren't that good. So I was like, fucking send them back. And I'd rather spend 200 quid on a doll each that looks proper.
Decent, yeah.
But we ended up giving one to Emmy and then the other one to my niece. And I went down and picked Billy up on Christmas Day. And my oldest daughter's boyfriend come out, and Boxing Day it was. And my sister was back at work, so he got the kid. and he said she hadn't put this doll. She had the doll with her over her shoulder. I can't remember what she called it. Sam or something random like that. No, she must have called the one her mum got her, Darcy. So yeah, everyone's happy with dolls at Christmas. Now you know what? To be honest, considering we've got all the three girls in the house, and then there's a baby, they've not been too bad. I don't think. But Tasha's laughing here, like going. They've played pretty well together. In all fairness, better than they have, don't you think? Like normally they're arguing and whatever, but they had the low doll house between them. And actually, they've played fairly good with it. But I did say to them, if there's any argument, I'm going to smash it up. But right at the start. So considering they've been off school for quite a long time as well, they've not been too bad, to be fair.
It's like the routine, isn't it? Like I can know straight away Poppy's out the routine, so that's what she's like. She's being right clingy and that, but I can't wait for her to get back into that routine so I could just get 5 minutes peace. Swear. That is literally it. I'm not too fussed. And you know, on the 19th when we did the last show, and we spoke about it, when your dad said it's that day you can basically do what you want and you can make as much noise as you want. I took that on board and I let her do whatever she wanted. Day after, I was like, "Fuck that! Toys, Christmas trees down, toys down, fuck off!"
Yeah, miserable motherfucker. Our house has been de-Christmas today while I've been at work.
Boxing Day, my tree came down, and that is the God honest truth. Boxing Day, my tree came down.
All the things that I was saying on the last feed about like the spirit of Christmas. Like honestly, in our house, the 6th of December was when they come down because that's the 12 days of Christmas from Christmas Day. Sorry, 6th of January. So traditionally, from what I know, decorations used to go up on Christmas Eve, and then they were up for the 12 days of Christmas. And people think the 12 days of Christmas leads up to Christmas Day. But apparently it's from Christmas Day 12 days on, which is the 6th of January. So in our house, it was bad luck to take them down. I don't know what was going to happen if they come down on the 5th. Maybe one of your fucking 1980s glass baubles got smashed or something. I don't know. So ours always literally come down on the 6th, and we were normally back to school on the 6th. I can remember a very few occasions like this year where I was actually not back at school until the 9th of January. So I was off. I was actually at home for my birthday. Most times I was back at school for my birthday. So we get to school and it was literally, all the cards were still up, everything was everywhere, and I'd get in from school on the 6th of January and the fucking lot had done and gone.
It just got in my way. The tree just got in my way. I'm sorry, it wasn't anything to do with spirit. It was just too many toys in the house and it was in the way. I mean,
you know what? Normally ours is down. No, it's not. You've only took it down in between Christmas and the New Year once. It's normally like either New Year's Day or the 2nd. And to me, that's sort of, once you're into the New Year, it's sort of acceptable. But you know what pisses me off? These fucking beggy cunts who put it up here on September the 12th just so they can get the first picture of the tree up. And then they take it down on fucking 5 o'clock Christmas night because it's pissing them off. And I'm like, this ain't about you. It's about your fucking kids, you rat.
To be honest, Poppy wasn't too fussed about the tree, to be deadly honest. Like, she would literally play with the baubles and I'd go ape shit because she'd just drop them on the fucking floor and they'd be all over the fucking floor. So I just went, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking it down.
Wasn't too bad, considering it's the first year. Like, obviously last year she was only a baby, but she weren't too bad. She actually does genuinely know what no means. She just most of the time chooses to like shake her head and just carry on doing what she knows she shouldn't be doing. Or if she does decide to do it, she claps herself like that's good that she's not being a cunt. Like, I'm not joking. Like, if she's pulling the tail off the dog and you say, Emmy, don't do that, she'll stop and then clap. I'm like, you shouldn't have been fucking ragging the dog around the house backwards.
So it sounds like you had a great Christmas.
You know, it's been nice. It's been busy. We had the show on Wednesday. Then I was at work Thursday and Friday. My plan was to finish work at about 12 o'clock on the Friday, and that didn't happen. The MD was having me right at it, and I couldn't get out of there. And I didn't want to just say I'm fucking off. We'd had the printer installed on the Tuesday or whatever it was, and so we was fucking about. We'd been over to Dudley on the Thursday, I think, and then because he's downstairs at the Dudley shop, and then Jack had to go and do something on the printer for me on the Friday, And I'll tell a lie, Jack actually printed some Christmas wrapping paper for the managing director for his wife for her present, but we had nothing to make it on, so he literally went and bought a pound roll of wrapping paper, turned it over, put it through the machine backwards, and printed on the white side of just standard wrapping paper. So then, and I was saying to Jack, will you be able to do that for Tim? But then get back over to the fucking offices in Birmingham as quickly as you can, because otherwise I'm going to end up sitting here till he's got his fucking wrapping paper. Jack never got back till about 2:30, the prick. So the factory was shut, all the office staff had gone, just me and the MD were there. And I was like, why? Why am I doing this? And then on Saturday, did we do anything?
Christmas present. Shopping.
Oh yeah, on the Saturday we was up and out by 11 o'clock, which with all the kids and just Tasha doing it, that's quite a decent feat, to be fair, to get out. And we just literally went round delivering Christmas cards, Christmas presents with the kids. We got some Christmas trap on in the car, driving around, dropping some tunes. And we got back about 7 o'clock because we got the Morrison's delivery coming at 8 o'clock. On the Sunday, we went to Kidderminster to the steam train, and then we got on the steam train and went into Bewdley and met Father Christmas and all that. That was nice.
Yeah, we tried to book a train last minute, but it wasn't happening. It was absolutely packed, jam-packed.
Mate, to be fair, we literally go online on the 23rd of December at midnight and think, what can we do tomorrow with the kids? Tasha booked this months and months ago. We're not normally organised. But that was actually really nice, that was, because the last time I went on a train was when I went shoplifting to Stratford when I was about 15. It's the only time I've ever been on a train as well. I've only ever been on a train once before.
Did you opt the train? The question is, when you went robbing, did you opt the train?
I can't remember. I remember I had a mission when I got back from Stratford because I'd spent all my dough, and because like my pals used to catch trains, I'd never been on a train. So like, I got off at the same stop as them, and they lived in fucking Hall Green, which was a mission from my house, and I'd got no more money to get home. That was the time. Remember I told you that I fucking jumped a taxi, and I just got out of the house, and I give him about 72 pence. And he got out and says, "You fucking fat bastard." That was that time, because we got back from Stratford at 6 o'clock, and I had to be in by 7 o'clock, and I was like, I ain't got no bus fare. I didn't have enough to catch the bus and whatever. And then I scraped a bit together and then just ended up booking this taxi locker. And I didn't even run off. I got him to drop me to my house and put every penny I had in my pocket on the chair and just walked down my drive, ignoring him while he was calling me a fat cunt. just completely ignored him and just went into the house and shut the door. And I thought, I'd rather fuck the taxi driver than my dad, so fuck you.
That's fucking brilliant.
That was nice. And then on Monday, we was up out early again. We went to Dudley, seen Jay and Dan. Then we drove over to Yardley. Spent about an hour or so in the shop with Disco. We dropped the kids off at Tasha's mum's. We opened up at 8 o'clock, I think, on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So Vet opened at 8. Disco got in at 10.
Yeah, it was 8 till.
We dropped the kids to a vet, shut down the shop for an hour and a half, and then about 13 of us went to the circus. So that was a vet, Tasha's sister's boyfriend, my sister, her kid, my mum, our kids, me and Tash, Billy. It was nice. Yeah, that was nice. And then we didn't even go for food, actually.
No, we went straight home and we had McDonald's.
Oh, we come straight home and we had McDonald's. Mia's just informed me. So it was nice, yeah. And then Christmas Day was nice. So I've honestly had a really nice break. It's been nice. And
Did you not go out tomorrow?
Simone went very well. Was she? She was sick in the candy floss bucket, weren't she, at the circus? Mate, Simone done a candy floss, and this candy floss just disappeared under the seat.
Luckily,
Oh, that'd have been a sight. You know, it's that fucking man.
Yeah. Mate,
bless her.
Plus at the circus was about 62 quid a bucket. That's what fucking done my head. It'd have been cheaper for me to check her into Booper for the afternoon.
They do always take the piss though, but this time of year they do take the piss as well, don't they? With hiking the prices. And that.
I went to the burger place. There was me, Tash, Simone, and Billy come up with the 4 of us, and I got 8 cans of pop, 1, 2, 3, 4 hot drinks, probably 4 burgers, 4 hot dogs, slush puppies for a couple, candy floss for a couple, some popcorn. And then all together with what Tash spent on the candy floss, what Billy spent on the slush, what I spent on fucking 8 burgers, 8 cans of pop, and 2 big popcorns, it was about 100 and odd quid. But we literally could have went to Miller and Carter for a fucking steak.
Wow.
Piss taking bastards.
Fucking. But they do that because you got no other option, have you? If you're hungry and you all want to have like it's part of the experience, isn't it? Let's be realistic. It's all part of the experience. And you went and dropped like 100 quid on burgers and drinks. Fuck.
It's nice. We do something on Christmas Eve. I can't remember what the tickets cost for 13 tickets was probably 200 and odd quid. I don't know. It's an expensive day out, but it's nice. It's nice to do.
100%. It's as you say, it's about spending it with family and having a good laugh. Talking of families, you dropped a bomb, didn't you, for on the girls for Christmas Day? If anybody doesn't know, you'd like to tell everybody. I'll say congratulations before you tell everybody, but. Yeah, if you want to tell everybody how you dropped the news, because you sent me the video on Christmas Day and you're like, I need to tell you, and you told me, and I was like, fucking hell, Abby's gonna go at me now and say, get us another one. So I congratulated you and went, thanks very much for that. But yeah, if you like to tell everybody your great news.
So the week before that, my wife phoned me about 10:30 one day and said, "You in your office?" And I was like, "Yeah." And when she was driving over to my office, I thought she's coming over here to tell me she's pregnant. Because she'd normally say, I'm in town, do you want to meet up for lunch? I'll phone me about 12 or whatever. And then I thought, maybe she's just going to surprise me with a McDonald's breakfast, but with another child. So we had an early scan because there's a scan place just across the road for us, and we got some scan pictures, and then we done some Christmas cards for the kids and put the scan pictures in the cards, and it was nice. Sinead was crying, and I was like, "Oh, we're having another rat."
Do you know what? When you obviously saw Sinead's face, I didn't know, because when you watch the video, you don't know if she's happy or she's like, another kid. So like when someone would say, "You all right?" and then obviously she was crying, and then when neighbour came along, another rat. I was proper creasing, but they were proper genuine reactions to it. Do you know what the news was? So it was really nice to see. You know what I mean? You got one that's tearing up, oh, we're having another one. You got another one going, fucking another one. So the video was really good to see. Genuine reactions, they're cool, and it was like Mia was just like stunned. She just didn't know what to say, did she? She was just like, yeah.
No, he was really nice.
It was genuinely nice. It was and that's memories that as well. Not just the fact that it was like Christmas Day, but their memories as well, which was really nice. You can't buy the memories. It's special. So congratulations.
So we have another child due on, I think, the 5th of August.
5th of August.
Yeah, that was from an early scan. It might change by a few days or whatever, but it's going to be there or thereabouts.
We'll put that in the calendar. We'll put that in. We'll make sure we've got a live feed on that day. Push that sponge!
I was going to go live at the last birth, but I was told under no certain terms that I'm not allowed to. I might go live, but I'll
still. We've got all your arms.
I'll set the drone up.
Did you see Robbie Williams when he did his? Did you see Robbie Williams' videos when his missus were in labour?
No.
He was like, he was doing, I don't know if he was doing it like on Instagram or some or Twitter or whatever. And he does like little short clips and he's like dancing round her and singing round her. He's like literally winding his missus up as she's fucking giving birth.
You know what, to be fair, with Emily, we left there at about midnight-ish, just after midnight. It's about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the hospital, checked in. And by the time we got in there, we were good to go. And then like, I can't remember what time she had her, about 20 to 5, half 4, something like that. But for them 4.5 hours, I don't even think I had my phone out, to be honest.
You did it. You text my mum once, didn't you?
Oh, I text the vet to say she's going to start pushing. And then literally she had the baby. And I mean like minutes before, I just sat down in the chair. Tasha was lying on the bed. I don't even think the afterbirth had come out.
Yeah,
Or it had just come out. And then Matt, and then Matt phoned me. Matt video called me on WhatsApp. He was out on the piss. And look, the baby had just that second been born. I don't know whether actually I've got my phone in my hand, messaging a vet to say she's had the baby, everything's okay, they're both okay, and whatever. And my phone fucking rung, and it was Matt. I didn't like with the others. Obviously, if you're in the hospital, you got time to get your phone out, and I've normally put up a status update saying fucking we're at the hospital. There's a kid coming, but actually we did. I don't think I even checked in. Did I check in?
You definitely checked in for long.
You definitely checked in.
I definitely checked in for likes. So,
Oh, that is fucking brilliant. I think you're in the moment though. In that sort of situation, you're in the moment. You don't. Nothing sort of like time doesn't mean anything. And you know, you said you were there for like 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
Like, you know what? I swear to God, it felt like an hour. Like with Ava, by the time we got to the hospital, she'd had the kid with less than an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and Ava was born. But actually, with Emmy, it was like it was just me and Tasha, because that was our last child. So we just had our moment together, and there was no one else in the room. Simone came in with Ava. Yvette was there with me. And I said, you know what? It's our last one. Let's just me and you just do it. And actually, it was genuinely just nice. And we got like birthing suites called Serenity, and they're like a room, and you've got a settee, and you've got a telly, and you've got the bed, and you've got the hot pool. You've got like the LED lighting, and it's just proper. It's like supposed to be like home from home. And Tasha like nice. Considering a home birth, but I'd know the more you have, the more complications that you can have. So I was just like, you know what, for the sake of being 15 minutes away, and the Serenity Suites are mint. Like it's just us in there. You're not on a ward. Even afterwards, you're just there till we went home. And if I wanted to, we could have had you, Abby, fucking Dale, Ricky, our kids, my mum, Tasha's mum, the brothers and sisters, you can have fucking as many people as you want there. Do whatever you want. So I was like, you know what, for 15 minutes away, it's nice, it's relaxed, it's like as close from home to home as you can. I was having a vape in there because there was only me and Tash in there, and it was just proper nice, and it didn't seem like 4.5 hours, to be honest, because she was on the bed, and then they filled up the hot. Amazing! Fucking dog coming past like a fucking trick dog, dragging its arse on my rug. Yeah, I wouldn't have said 4.5 hours because it seemed to go really quick. Like Tasha's looking at me like a fucking dickhead. But it was really relaxed. It was nice. So
yeah, for us blokes, we can't do shit all. Do you know what I mean? We're in the moment. There's nothing we can do. We literally just sit back and wait.
I'm actually quite a good birthing partner, I think.
Yeah, you are.
Do you know what I mean? I'm sort of rubbing her back and holding her hand and giving her some support and doing all them things, but she was probably pushing for, I don't know, getting on for an hour maybe, which was quite long.
Well, you don't carry me, you know? I thought, wow, coming around the bend.
So it's just like, I know everything. I was only on gas and air. Fuck that. I was getting out there as quick as possible.
Never once told me that I weren't pushing. You was like, look, she's pushing.
Yeah, she checked down, so she was about fucking 6 or 7 centimeters, and then like within fucking 3 or 4 minutes of that, she was like, I need to push, and the midwives go, no, you don't, you're okay. And she was like, I need to fucking push. And then I was like, if you feel you need to push. Worst that's going to happen, you're going to shit yourself in this fucking pool. Actually, the midwife fucking stuck her hand around by a flu and that, and she was like, oh, you are ready to go and crack on and do.
You can see it in your back, that's what she said. I could see it in your back picture. Mad that is.
Were you in the pool? Did you have birth in the pool?
I went in the pool, mate. Have you seen the amount of shit that comes out?
I thought you were there like this. Let's go.
With my fucking speedos, with fucking swimming cap on and some goggles, fucking snorkel and that. Like, I'm just gonna go down and check, bab. Come back up for a fucking breath. Like that. Now you're about 6 centimeters there, love. You're all right. You're all right. Oh, get in the pool, man.
Proper surfer suit. We'll get you a full surfer suit the next time you go.
Snorkels and flippers and that. Swimming in circles around the fucking hot tub.
Fuck. Why don't you just use it for you next time? Don't have to stay on the bed and you can just stay in the pool.
Fucking some sort of cup holders on the side, some champagne, my vape on one side, some champagne on the other.
Oh, that is fucking mint. Oh my god. So everything's gone smooth and it sounds like Christmas, New Year's was banging. Absolutely banging.
I got my remote control car and I broke the cunt.
Oh, please don't tell me you broke it already.
Listen, she bought. I had the drone anyway. I had the drone a couple of years ago for Father's Day, and then on the next anniversary or Christmas or something, she got me the plane, the parrot plane. I'd never took it out of the box until the other day. So I said to Disco, I charged all the batteries up for my remote control car, and I said to Disco, get your drone and come over, and I'll get my car, my drone, and my plane, and we'll just go and have a fuck about over the park. So I got my car out, but I'd had it out. When I took the videos outside the house, I'd clumped the curb, and when I was turning, the servo was crunching its tits off, and I was a bit like, that should be all right, man. It's designed to take a bang. It's fucking 650 quid. I mean, it was an expensive one. And I got over the park, and we pulled up in 2 different cars because David's in his car. Yeah, because my seats were down, and my car was filling the boot and whatever. So it's only like 10 minutes for the fucking to the park, not even that. So Dave followed me down. We both pulled up outside the park, and I opened my boot, and I was getting my car and my receiver out and that. And then some geezer come over, and he's gone, excuse me, mate, are you coming over here to have a play? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, sound, I've got my car, man. I felt a bit of a dickhead just getting it out on my own. Some next phone, man. So there was, I was like, mate, I got 5 daughters. I have to buy this shit for myself. So I got my car out, and I was 2 minutes, and it stopped turning. So I man, threw that back in the boot, got the drone out for a bit. Dave got his drone out, and then I got this plane out, and it's mental. It's like literally, I went on YouTube to learn how to fly the plane because I thought, it's just easy to watch a video and whatever. So I set it all up, got it all working, and then you press one button on the remote, and it's like self-launches. So you hold it's a fucking, I don't know, it's about 3 foot wide. You know what I mean? It's a fucking big old chunk of a plane, but it's dead light. Press the start button, and look, it's just got one rotor on the back, and then it's got the fucking ailerons or whatever they're called on the wings.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's gliding as much as it's being driven from the back, and then you just turn it and do. But basically, you press the start button, it revs up, and then on YouTube it says you literally throw it into the wind, and then it'll go up to 60 meters, and then it'll just circle above your head until you touch the control. So it gives you time to get your bearings, get yourself ready for the control, and then as soon as you take over, then you've took over. So I press this button, it goes, and when it's revved up, the fucking thing's trying to leave my hand. I've panicked, and I didn't know how to turn it off. So the fucking plane's trying to take off. I'm trying to switch the cunt off. Dave was like, hit the stick. I think that turns it off. So I hit the stick, and it went off. And I was like, fucking hell, mate, that fucking seems low. This is like fucking 2:30 on New Year's Eve. The park was full of people walking dogs, kids playing, doing whatever. But I didn't know how far it went before it started taking any height.
Yeah.
But there was people like, I don't know, 50 yards away from me. I thought, what if I just let go and just flies and banjos them in the side of the head or something? So I had another couple of minutes like breathing, and I hit the fucking start button. And as soon as it revved up, I just chucked the cunt, and I thought, let's just see what happens, man. And it went up, and it takes off pretty quick, to be fair. So it probably gets about within 30 or 40 foot of you. So maybe 30 foot, say the length of my living room. It's fucking on its way up higher and then it's up there. And then I was like, fucking hell. So I'm watching it circle over me. It does an 80-meter radius circle, which is fucking quite big. So then I took over the controls and I was flying it, and I was like, Dave, how the fuck do I get this down, mate? Because obviously with the quad, I mean, with the quadcopter, like the drone, if it's fucking 100 foot up in the air, I just take my hands off the sticks and it's just hovering at 100 foot. And then I could just bring it in towards me. And then when it gets within 20 foot of the floor, press the land button and it will land itself. The plane, if I turn around to talk to Dave, the fucking plane's flying, mate. There's none of this hovering malarkey. So I'm like proper panicking and that. And I've got the thing flying about and doing and messing. And I was like, right, I'm going to go for a landing just to see what the crack is. And basically what he does the reverse of the takeoff. So it'll come down in spirals. And then it should land in the same direction what you took off, so it lands against the wind. So it tells you to always throw it against the wind to take off. And then because of the gyro and the fucking computer in there, it'll actually come in and land in the same place that he took off from. But what happened was I pressed the land button, and then you can hear it slow down and it starts to come down. But then I took over the steering. So once you took over the steering, you don't do the circle and the land thing. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was doing like big circles and it's getting lower and lower. And I banked it between two trees, coming fucking straight over the top of a woman walking a dog. I swear, it was probably, say straight over, it was probably 15 foot above her, but I know she shit herself. Plane falling towards her head. And then I landed it and I was like, this is mad. Then I took it off again. And then Dave had a go. And then Dave was like, yeah, I'll try landing it. Dave thought I don't know why Dave thought he was a pilot and that he could do this mad landing. But the plane come past us over our heads. He walked behind me and I was like, fuck. And it literally just, because it lands just on its belly on the grass. It just landed on the grass and then skidded into the bushes. Not even fast. It, like, if it had been 10 foot higher, he'd have took a tree out and my plane would have been ripped off. So then I got home, Dave took my car apart. I need the new service. So I've ordered all that. Then today we were pumping the zinc back into the new galvanising bath. So I said to Tasha last night, I'm going to take my drone and get some video. Took my drone to work. They have to heat up all the pipes and it's probably took 2 hours to get the fucking pumps and that ready to pump the molten zinc back over. So I got my drone out. I was fucking about in the house last night while Dave was there. And just looking at all the different settings I can do on it, because you've got like a camera mode, so everything's really subdued and it rotates really slow. Or you've got sports mode where you can just nail the fuck out of it. So I'll take it off in the factory. I'm flying it around the factory slowly, going, actually, if I come here and do this, do that, da 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 da. And then I went outside the factory and I fucking took it up over the factories across the way. Probably about 50 meters, I suppose, 150 foot maybe, whatever. It's set to 50 foot, 50 meters. And then I was just doing a loop to come back and it just went, disappeared. And I was like, where the fuck's my drone, man? I look on because you've got the screen on the controller. So yeah. I look down at my screen and it's flashing like critical battery. And I was like, fuck, as if the battery's gone flat. And I hadn't even looked at the screen because I was looking up in the sky. And I look at the screen and I'm on the roof of some other cunt's factory, but I'm not. But I don't know what factory. Like when it's up that high and then it comes down, it's really difficult to judge how far away it is from you.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking, as if there's £1,000 worth of fucking drone up on someone's roof, and these roofs are high, mate. So then I was like, fuck it. I phoned Disco up and I was like, you need to come to Digbeth with your fucking drone to get your drone up there to see where my fucking drone is. And then I was in the MD's office having a meeting, and one of the lads come walking in with it, and he'd been scoured all the roofs and everything and found it.
Fucking hell!
I thought, fucking mint.
So you got it back. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the aeroplane or do you prefer the actual drone?
You know what? The aeroplane's mad. The drone's just easier to fly. Obviously, I need to be more. I've got the goggles and that for it, but I don't like the idea of flying it with the goggles. Dave's got a race one. It's next level madness, mate. Like mine will get to 50 meters, saying, I don't know, fucking 5 seconds. Dave's will probably do it in fucking 2.5. It's like it's literally just like, and it's fucking gone. It's fast as fuck.
Fucking hell.
But my drone, even though it's quite quick and it's quite nimble, it's not a race drone, so it's quite civilized to fly. It's quite enjoyable because you can control it, and obviously, unless your battery goes flat and you just sit. And I was like, where the fuck's that going? Madness.
Yeah, because you get some beautiful shots out of your drone, can't you? Like really,
Yeah,
really like.
It's like 1080, it's 1080 HD camera on it, and it's got exactly the same camera on the plane as well.
Yeah, you can tell when you put up the videos and stuff, and you could tell the difference between the plane, and you could tell the difference between the drone, because obviously you could see it looked like a fucking plane, didn't it? Like the movement of it is.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I found some settings last night on the drone, so you can bank the drone, because normally what happens, you pretty much turn it, so it stays horizontal. But I was messing with the settings last night, and then I found one to turn up everything full. So like the fucking incline, the rise, the side, so it turns quicker. And then there was one to bank it, so you can actually bank the corners on the drone as well. So I put all them settings on last night. I've not really been out and played. I need to go over the park where I've got a big old space and not factories in front of me.
Yeah.
Fucking long. But now, I mean, I don't know. The drones. I said to Tash last night, actually, I think out of all of them, I think I'll prefer the car. Personally, I'll end up with about £25,000 worth of remote control cars.
But you're a petrol head, though, aren't you? As yourself, you are very much. You enjoy cars. You like cars. You know, you're pretty much a petrol head. So I could assume that.
But I did say, like Tasha said to me, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "Honestly, I can't think of anything that I want. I'd rather just wait till I want something, even if that's in fucking June or whatever." But then I'm thinking I might just build a race drone, because you can build one for about 250 quid. They're not mad expensive.
Yeah. I know Dave built his, didn't he?
But Dave's cost him about 500 quid to build, and that's with like the headset, the goggles, everything on there. Well, I'm not even loving I've got goggles with mine. I said to him, what I need to do is go out with mine the weekend with the goggles and just get used to using the goggles, and then decide where I'm starting with my own drone. But I probably will end up building a fucking mad race one. But I was watching some videos last night, mate, and they're fucking, some people who fly them are next level mint on these things. Look, there's a geezer on his goggles. Dave was saying in the UK you can only have the setting for the receiver on the video can only be set to 25 something, whatever the scale is in the UK. In America, they're running that scale at 2000, which basically means they can go much, much, much further away and still get a crystal clear picture in their goggles. So like, even when Dave was flying around our park, even though the park's quite big, when he goes behind a bushy tree, his fucking picture's breaking up slightly in his goggles. Whereas these ones in the States, mate, they're in Texas. They've got about 6 million square miles of land in front of them. They've got this fucking, and look, the geezer gets out of his car, takes off on this drone. I'm not exaggerating. It's like going from my house into Birmingham city centre from where he was stood. And then he's like following a train down a train track. And then like all the footage is taken as he would see in his headset. It's fucking madness.
Wow.
He went under the carriage of the train while it was moving and come out the other side, and then like even with like the gap between two carriages, he was like flying it, and then he'd go up in the air, do a mad loop the loop, come down between the two gaps. I was like, how the fuck do you even practice and do that, man? Like, you hit that train and that your drone's done, gone. But I swear that like, if you're not interested, you won't interest. But if you go onto YouTube and just Google like race drones,
I've seen the race when they're doing the abandoned warehouses and stuff.
Yeah, have you seen how like they come out the windows and then like flip it and drop into the window on the floor below them and shit like that? I ended up falling over. He was making me dizzy watching them race on YouTube last night. And I said to Dave, I don't think I'll get on with the headset, man. The VR on the PlayStation knocks me sick. The VR in my headset knocks me sick. I don't see it being any different with the fucking drone.
And it's they're fast as well. They're doing all these mad loops and through these little tiny gaps.
But I don't even know how they do that from the sight of the drone. I don't think my brain will compute that quick, because I'm not very good with shit like that. Because if I can't do it straight away, I ain't got the patience to. Like, if I'm half good at something straight away, I'll do it until I master it. If I'm shit right from the get go, I'm a bit like a sport little dickhead, and I'm like, fuck that, I can't do it, man. I ain't even trying. And I just know I don't think I've got the patience to succeed to be a VR fucking drone flying knobhead.
Yeah, I've seen a few kids do it, like not the kids, but like, a lot of adults do it. When I was at the shore in the summer, and there was a lad in a car park, and he was flying it around all the lampposts and like doing loop around the lamppost, like going up the side of the lamppost and back down the lamppost. it's mental. I watch him like, how the fuck do you do that? But as you say, it's man hour behind in it.
He's like flying. He must know the area, but he's flying through like a forest, through the trees, like fucking missions away from where he is. And then he like goes up to this fucking fence. And mate, my drone will do 50 mile an hour, right, which is pretty quick. Dave's is fucking way faster. This geezer's flying some next level race road, and like you've got like a fence with like 3 horizontal slats on, straight between the slats and that, and then comes up over a tree, round the fucking tree. And I was like, I'd have just gone straight to the fucking fence, drone in about 60,000 pieces, and then I'd just fucked the receiver across the bush and fucked off home in my car with nothing. I said that to Tasha when we went out on Monday. She was like, "God, take it easy." I said, "This is going to go one of two ways. I'm either going to come back with nothing, so it's been a £3,000 afternoon, or I should get on all right." As it goes, I broke the car, but I think I'd done that the day before because I couldn't wait to get over the park. And I was
when you were into the fucking tree.
hit the tree and hit the curbs and fucking just generally being. That was Jack's fault, that was.
Oh, was it him recording?
No, yeah, Jack come over and he's like, "Oh, I weren't even sure how to use the battery charger because I can't be asked to read instructions in anything." So I was like, "Come over." No, Jack come over actually to set up my modem for me. And I said, "Oh, while you're here, fucking sort out my charger and I get all my batteries charged." And the next thing, I'm out in the street racing the fuck out of this bugger.
I bet you got some right looks on your street.
I know some of the neighbours come out and watch me, and I know they're thinking, he ain't even got no boys in that house.
Right off.
Blatantly, he's outside playing with his own remote control car on fucking a few days after Christmas. I was like, "Fuck on, mate."
So fucking what? Fuck him.
How was your Christmas, Thomas?
Mine was amazing. Actually, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's all. I started when I was listening to you on the 19th, and I keep going back to that. But when I was listening to you and stuff, and you just think it's all for the kids and everything like that. And yes, I know I took my tree down early. Yes, whatever. They were still want to put my mum, so fuck it. But it is all about the kids, and then you start realizing because then I saw one of the lads I've not seen in absolutely ages, and he was like, "I was like, you had a good Christmas?" He was like, "Yeah," and it's like you're just realizing you're getting old. When you know it's just for the kids and it's not like the spark it used to be when you were a kid and stuff like that, and you just enjoy it for what it is for the children, and you see everyone that's sort of having a laugh and families getting together. But apart from that, yeah, I had a good time. I can't complain. I got some really awesome presents and I'm happy, so I can't complain.
Next year and like I can't really say anything because Maria's there, but look, obviously Poppy's 2, ain't she?
She's 2, yeah.
So like by next year, her excitement will be like fucking tenfold of what it was this year, and the year after that, it'd be tenfold of that, and then year after that, it'd be tenfold of that, and then obviously you get to an age where they're non-believers, and it sort of takes the edge. Like even Sinead's 12, and she's a bit like, "Have I really got to get up with them when they're opening their presents?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you have, you miserable git, man. It's Christmas. Get up."
No, it's nice and it is magical, but it always makes me think, and I always say to myself, why is it only we all get together at these certain occasions? It should be all the time. And like I said in your status the other day, and I was sorry that we didn't spend as much time as I would like to, and that's what pisses me off, is because you sit there and you think this should be all the time. This should not necessarily the presents and stuff like that, but this should be all the time. You should spend time with people that you appreciate, and you don't.
It still boils down to the fact you take shit for granted. You take for granted that people will be alive this time next week. Take for granted that you'll be alive this time next week. So everything's put off on the proviso. I swear to God, right, two years ago, on about the 12th of December, one of my best friends, and he's an old man. He's fucking probably late 60s at ease. But someone that I've worked with for 25 years at the factory, and we just become really good friends, and someone that I could speak to, and he spoke to me, and his wife worked for the business. And then when we had our ducks, and Fox got one of them, Vicky and Eddie had the duck off us, the one that was left, because they've got like a couple of acres small holding, so they've got a duck pond, and he's like, I'll take the duck and it's safe with the other ducks and that. Well, his wife passed away a couple of years ago. He come and see me in about the October. He's like, fucking hell, mate, I've been to hospital with Vicky and she's fucking riddled with cancer. And boy, just after the start of December, she was dead and done in fucking 3 months. And his funeral was just before Christmas Day. It was like the 23rd or something like that. And you know, I haven't seen that geezer from that day to this, and it's shocking. And last year, I says at Christmas time, like he'd always come to the factory and bring me a slab of lager because he was a supplier more than a customer. So we used to spend quite a lot of money with him. And then he'd already sort of semi-retired when Vicky found out she'd got cancer, and his friend used to work with him, so he still comes and does the work that Eddie used to do. And when we were sorting out the bottles for the customers, I said to the MD, I says, you know what, actually, I'll take one of them bottles and I'll go over and see Eddie, and it can be off me and you to him. And I just never, it's not even that I never had time, mate. It was like, because I had to go and see these customers that were spending money with us, they took like the high priority on my list of time available to go out and see people. And then after Christmas Day, I was like, fucking hell, I need to go and see Eddie. And then the next thing, I'm back at work and another year's gone. And I've done exactly the same thing this year. I'm a proper cunt because about the 16th of December, when we were sorting out who was having bottles and who was having wine and who was having whiskey and just who was having just a calendar and chocolates and all that, I says, put me a bottle of salt. I'm going to go and see Eddie. And again, we were busy. The printer come. We were busy anyway at work. We was organising this maintenance, and I'm back at work and I still ain't seen the fucker. So next week I will go and see Eddie, because otherwise the next time I see Eddie, he's going to be in a box. And that does my own head in, because I'm like, why the fuck can I make time to go to a funeral that's going to kill a whole day? And I couldn't make time to pop and see him for an hour and just have a coffee with him and just let him know that if he needs anything, I'm on the other end of the phone or whatever. And I need to start practicing what I preach, man, because I know what I should be doing. And still time just gets carried away with you, and it's always like, I'll do that next week, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next week. And that old adage about never put off something that you can do today till tomorrow is absolutely true, mate, because one day I ain't going to wake up and I won't be able to do these things.
Yeah, you're 100% right in what you're saying, but as I said, we've said plenty of times, it's sort of like time, there isn't enough hours in the day sometimes. I know we sit here and go 24 hours, but sometimes there's not enough hours, and you are busy, and you do get caught up in your own shit. And
you know what? There is enough hours in the day. I don't care. There's not many people that can't say. Look, I've sat in my office for 2 hours on Facebook, and I've done nothing apart from sat on Facebook for 2 hours, unless my phone's happened to ring. And even then, it's questionable about whether I even answer that phone or not. And actually, I could have drove to his, which is about an hour away, and had a coffee with him for 15 minutes and drove back, and I'd have achieved so much more in that day than just sitting on Facebook convincing myself I ain't had time to take a piss. And one thing that I'm going to try and do this year genuinely is to try and sort of seize the day. Even today, I was knackered, mate. I went to bed at 3:30 this morning, and I was back awake at 6 o'clock, and I was in the factory for 7 o'clock. It was -4 when I got in my car. Even with I had the fucking heaters on, the electric screen on, my heated steering wheel, my heated seat. 12 minutes I sat on the drive before the thickness of the ice even melted. I swear to God, 12 minutes I was parked up on the drive with the electric heated screen on before the window wipers even moved any ice off my window. It was fucking freezing. So I was knackered, and I've been to work, and I left about 3 o'clock, I think. So I got home about 3:30. I walked in the door. Tasha's de-Christmas the fucking house. She's cleaned up, and there was a pile of shit in the hallway that had to go up in the loft. And last year, I got in one day about 3 weeks into January, and she was bouncing around, and she'd put it in the loft her fucking self because I'm a lazy prick who don't care. So I've come in today, and I was proper tired to the point where I even contemplated saying to you, mate, see if you can get someone to come on with you, man. I'm fucking knackered. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do the show, but before I do that, I'm going to go and get all the shit in the loft, and I'm going to run up and have a bath. And actually, at 10 o'clock when we're done, or 10:15 or 10:30 or 20 to 12, whenever we fucking finish tonight, I can just go and get into my pit and just out. Even if it's just half an hour, just chatting to Tash and then getting to sleep. You know what I mean? It's like, but normally I'd come and say, oh, you sort all that out, and then tomorrow when I come in, I'll do that. And then tomorrow I come in, I'm like, I'll do that the weekend, and then the weekend doesn't come. And so this year I want to try and not put off something that I can do today until tomorrow and just get on and get it done and dusted, because ultimately it just means that whether it gets to the weekend or whatever, I've got more time just to do fuck all and just enjoy that time. Because I would just sit here otherwise on Facebook going, oh, I ain't even got time to put that up in the loft. Well, I'm putting up some obnoxious status just to shit in the buzz, you know what I mean? So,
well, as you're talking about that, exposing me, we'll start next week.
yeah, I spoke to China yesterday, so I'm trying to get. I don't know if Chris JB's still watching, but we're waiting for the 28mm sample of the Pandemonium to come. I'm just working on the design for the new, whether it be called the Dirtier, the Dirtiest, I don't know, because there's a chance that we do the Dirtier and the Dirtiest, and there'll be two different mods, but they'll both be a chunk of a mod. So, and then I'm looking at whether we can just bring out something that replaces the clean style mod as a 21700. So there's potentially 1, 2, or 3, 4 mods to drop in May if it all comes to plan, and if I've got fucking deep enough pockets, quite honestly, because it's going to be a fucking expensive exercise. So they break on the 25th of January, and then they're going to be off for 3 weeks for Chinese New Year. So she told me if I can get her the samples by middle of next week, she'll get me the sample back. Now, obviously, the Pandemonium is at a different manufacturers. So once I get the design to my existing manufacturer for the Dirty and the Dirtiest, I will also, once I've got that, I will also send the drawings to the Pandemonium factory and then compare the two, and we'll go with whatever's the best. And one thing I've been thinking over, I mean, I know we spoke about what is the direction for Endless this year, what's the direction for Shady Vaping and whatever else. And for me, it's just about upping the overall quality level of the product, I think, and making sure it's the best that we can make it for the money that we sell it for. So, and that's what I want to do. And if the other factory is a little bit more expensive and we have to sell it for a little bit more, I'd rather do that than have issues with fucking thread stripping or post breaking or whatever, and just try and reset our standard on what mix we're producing. So that is my plan for this year. And we'll see how the year spans out. I say if the dirtiest, whichever is the bigger one out of them two, if it works, I know it's going to be sick because there's nothing else like it on the market. Then we've got the box that we can look at, which there's nothing else like it on the market. So I've got to decide: do we go for a very run-of-the-mill, cleanest, if that's what it's called, with the 21700? So it's a 65 pound mod, but 21700. Do we look at the deck, or do we just slightly revamp the V2 and call it the V3S? And just do something slightly different with that, because actually I really like that style of deck, and I don't see the point trying to do something clever when you don't need it.
Yeah. And
the same with the slam and top cap. Do we just change the aesthetics of it so it looks fresh? I don't know. That's where I am at the moment. But yeah, we've got Expo in May. We've got Jam in April. I still haven't decided whether we are or we're not doing Jam. I don't know. We shall see what happens, man. See what happens over the next few weeks, really.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm proper excited for the stuff that you show me and stuff that's in the works. I'm excited. Well, let's talk about a bit of vaping then. Since we've got this, let's talk last half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever we've got left. We'll talk about a bit of vaping. So let's talk about, we did mention, and I want to talk about this because we didn't get to mention it on the 19th because it hadn't happened at the time. And I want to talk about the buyout of the 35% for Juul. We was talking about Juul. We've been talking about Juul for a while, and how much they're worth, and what we were saying, 13 billion they were worth. And obviously, Altria has obviously purchased the 35%, and everybody on social media was up in raw that a tobacco company had bought 35% in Juul. What was your opinion on it? What is your opinion on it? And how do you feel about them purchasing? But what I want to mention before is we did mention that Altria did have 3 vaping products and 3 vaping companies, and they closed them down. I want to say 2 weeks before they put the money into Juul. So maybe everyone was sort of like, yes, they've shut down. Another tobacco sort of company said, fuck it, we're not doing vaping. And then boom, 2 weeks later, they've dropped nearly 13, well, what it $12.8 million into Juul. What's your opinion on it? What did you feel?
My opinion is that the cogs are now starting to turn. I think that for anyone that had a status up saying Juul are a sellout, quite frankly, you're a fucking moron. What we're talking about, 10.5 billion, £10.5 billion. Well, that's a figure of money that only James Burr's got. Like, we're talking next level wealth here, and that business was valued, I believe, at $13.5 billion, and they paid $12.5 billion for 35%. So they've lost $1 billion of its value and retained 65% share in a company that's now worth $36 billion. Right, it's just next level mad. So not only did they nearly get the wholesale value, they've got another 2/3 left that's worth twice as much as the fucking money that they've got, and they give 1.5 billion back to the employees. They made 1,500 employees millionaires, giving them as much as 1.5 million. The lowest anyone got was $1 million. So some of the management got 1.5 million. The people on the fucking shop floor, $1 million. Right. So for me, that is the way to do any sort of sellout. And by sellout, I'm talking about selling out some shares, not that they've sold out because it's big tobacco. I've said many, many times, I haven't got an issue with IQOS per se. I've got an issue with smoke, burn, not smoke, and all that malarkey. I haven't got an issue with IQOS's new mesh system. I still wouldn't stock it in my shop just for the same reasons that I don't stock blue, and that's because they ultimately will end up mainstream supermarket products. So again, a direction for me over the next 12 months is looking how we make our shop a little bit more niche than anything that you're going to get in a supermarket. And we'll still cater for that supermarket type customer because it's still a big part of what we do. But actually, how do we carry on surviving post big tobacco takeover? And that being when they're controlling the industry. And I'd imagine that's still going to be another 2 to 3 years. But let's look at what our show is this time next year, and let's see how many people that are calling people sellouts have been vaping big tobaccos, go to run-of-the-mill mainstream brands that they didn't know that they were vaping.
Every single one of them that put a status up out saying sell out went and got a fucking Juul for fuck all.
That was the next thing, mate. So, me, if I don't even know what my figure is to sell out all of my business to someone, whether it be big tobacco or Chris JB, who's also another multi-billionaire. But if I could get a figure of money that I felt took us as a family to a different level and a different level of security, that is what I started this business for. If people want to call me a sellout, I won't give a fuck because my Facebook will get deactivated about an hour after I do my live feed saying, and I think the fact that big tobacco is starting to develop and push my concerns with them coming into it and developing is they will steer that market to be FDA compliant, which means that it's going to cause issues for certainly in America. And we've not had this so much in the UK at the moment, but it will come, where we've seen flavour bans and we've seen this whole ban the Juul because of there's an epidemic of teen vapors. What they haven't said is the amount of teen smokers has dropped. I don't understand why that is considered a bad thing. I don't understand why they're saying it's a gateway to tobacco. The only reason why it's a gateway to tobacco is if Juul have converted X million people to using their product, and then the FDA make that product no longer available to them, there's a good chance they'll start using tobacco. But I do not believe vaping is a gateway to tobacco. You'll either vape, you'll either smoke, you might do both, you might do one, you might do the other, who knows? But I still, like I've said many times, the people that's going to start vaping, I would say the people that would start vaping that would never have started smoking, in my opinion, and it's only my calculated opinion, is that percentage is very, very small. Because the type of person that will say, fuck it, I'm going to pinch my dad's vape and have a go on it, is the same sort of kid that would pinch a cigarette out of his mum's fag box 20 years ago, and I was that person. So I just think that they bought Juul at a time where Juul is the most spoke about vaping product in America. It's the biggest selling product in America. It's the biggest, well, it's like the biggest by value business in America. And they've bought 35% of it. Now, at the end of the day, mate, I don't care who the remaining owners are with 65%. If Juul go back to, I mean, if Philip Morris, his team goes back to him and says, you know what, we give you 12.5 billion for the 35%. We'll give you another 25 billion for the other half. You gotta have some fucking real shit about you to say, nah, mate, I ain't doing that. And actually, the company Juul was a company. It was owned by people that set up another company and sold that company to Big Tobacco, and they used the money from that sale to fund Juul. So Juul was initially funded through Big Tobacco's money anyway, because the people that started it had already set up a business and sold it lock, stock, and barrel to Big Tobacco. So on that basis, was Juul always Big Tobacco funded?
Anyway, yeah.
In reality, yes. Although in theory, it was your man's personal money. They decided to reinvest it back into vaping and whatever. I haven't got an issue with that sale, mate. I really haven't. It's going to happen in this. It's going to happen in the UK. There's, in my honest opinion, there's lots of companies already out there that are owned by Big Tobacco in the UK that are probably running NDAs for up to 2 years. So no one knows it's owned by Big Tobacco. It will carry on as it was. It will just be run the same way by the same people doing their same job, selling the same products. It's actually owned by Big Tobacco. And I think one day, whenever the day comes and they all have a little meeting in their multi-billion-pound fucking boardrooms and say, you know what, today's the day we're going to announce that we own 96% of this industry.
Mm.
How many people who have put up a sellout status say, I ain't vaping X, I ain't vaping Y, I'm not using that product, I'm not going to that shop, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing the other, because it's now Big Tobacco. The bottom line is you're a vapor. Now, most people that started vaping, I say most because there is that some started as hobbyist vapors, but most people that started vaping to stop smoking. If you're going to go back to cigarettes to prove a point, they've got your money either in fags or they've got your money out vaping. It's cheaper to vape than it is to fucking smoke, and it's healthier. On that basis, they've got you by the balls either way. So you just got to suck it up, buttercup, and you've got to decide what you want to do, and you've got to decide how you're going to give them your money and at what level. More smoking tobacco, or you're going to go the vaping route and set the healthier option, even if it works out the same amount of money. And that's where we're going to head, in my opinion. I don't know, Tom, I might be wrong. That's been my opinion now for the last 4 years. It hasn't altered, it hasn't changed. That's what I believe will happen.
I personally feel that Big Tobacco ain't gonna like you said earlier about changing the shop and having it into a niche sort of where it won't be sold in Morrison's, it won't be sold in Asda. You know what I mean? I think this Big Tobacco, these companies are looking to take over 95% of the market, which is your mouth to lung, somebody who wants to replace a cigarette with a vape product that's like a cigarette. That is what they don't want. They don't want a niche market. They don't want girls.
They will end up with a sub-owned market. I believe the niche market lies in mech. That's my honest opinion, because there's absolutely no way that the big tobacco companies are going to convert someone to vaping to then allow me to steal their customer when they become a tank wanker with a sub-owned device. So actually, for Asda to sell smock tanks and smock coils and UL Crown 4s or 5s or 6s or whatever the fuck it is by then, it's no great shakes. They sell however many, I'd imagine tens. I don't know. Abby might have a rough idea how many products are in her Morrison's.
I think they've got Vibe, they've got Blue.
No, I'm on about in the store. I'm on about in the store. So tens of thousands.
Thousands, so yeah.
They have 19 different types of smock coil. Who gives a fuck? The computer.
Yeah, it's true.
They sell them. The customer asks for them. They give it to them. They want a fucking new mod. They'll sell them the mod. They want batteries. They'll sell them batteries. And I believe that they will get to the point where they will sell. I don't think they'll ever sell wire. I don't think they'll ever sell cotton. I don't think they'll sell RDAs. I don't think they'll sell RTAs. I don't think they'll sell mech devices. I don't think they'll sell mech squonks. But if they can buy something that's packaged and it's regulated and it's CE marked and it's ROHS tested, and it's sealed in a box with instructions, they'll sell it.
Yeah.
They don't need to. They don't need to.
Well, Argos have already gone down that route anyway, haven't they? They sell Suburban stuff.
Absolutely. And they don't need to convert the vapor anymore because we've spent the last fucking 6 years doing that for them. And the reality is that although there's still more money to be had out of the smoker term vapor, and there's still a much bigger share to convert into vaping, the long-term reality is that people will go through a market of sub-ohm, and we've seen in the last 12 months this massive swing back to mouth-to-lung vaping with nic salts. I believe that big tobacco will cater from everyone from a very fresh vapor to someone who flicks between sub-ohm in tank on a regulated device back to mouth to lung, whether that be pod system, whether it be freebase, whether it be nic salts, whether it be high VG.
Do you think they go to short fills though? Because then
I don't think they will go to short fills, mate, but I think short fills won't be a thing.
That's what I'm saying. They might flip it where it is.
I think they'll go back to nicotine in short fills, and I think it'll have to be regulated, and I think it's going to cost the same amount to regulate a short fill under TPD with nicotine, and is what it does to like I said the other day, we've got sort of £10,000 worth to spend for 2020 just to get 4 flavours out there before we've done a bottle. Well, it's actually about £4,000, so it's about £1,000 a flavour, give or take. Now, I can get it done cheaper than that, but the people that Prohibition used to do that will literally keep a batch of our liquids and an analysis of our liquids. So every month, Billy at Prohibition sends off a sample of every single
batch
SKU that's gone through his facility, and that's hundreds and hundreds of SKUs. They test every single one of them, and they keep the analysis. So if in 10 years' time, someone comes to me and says, I've only ever vaped 2020, and my fucking arsehole is red raw, and every time I go for a shit, I'm passing blood, and the doctor said it's because of your nic salts, and it's because there's a chemical in there that's killing me, we would be able to pull a cert from 2019 and say, we haven't got that in our product. So for peace of mind for me, and to be fair, Billy don't make nothing out of that registration. So the product will be registered in my name, it'll be registered as my product. He can do that for me and register it as a Prohibition product. I can do it, register it as my product. It makes no odds. If the bill's £995 a flavour, I'll pay £995 a flavour. So, or he says you can go somewhere else and get it done somewhere else cheaper. I just decided to go with him and do what he's doing because that's what he does. When Acer Vape's done the short fill range for us on the AF, we went with them. We had it tested through the people they tested through. So we've got all the certs for that, as you know, because when we sent it out to Germany, we had to send all the certs out and stuff like that. So they'll corner the market, mate, and they're not interested in all of the market. They're interested in the lion's share of the profitability of the market that they want. And if they lose a fucking 5% share to Suburban, although that might give all these niche shops a decent income and a nice standard of living, it's like
on the whole, it's a fucking piss take.
On the overall picture, it's fuck all, and it's not one that I don't think they'll ever be asked about getting involved in. And again, it comes back to the same thing as tobacco. You go into Solihull Town Centre, there's tobacconists in there still. There's some in town, in Birmingham City Centre, and you can go and pick out 60 different flavours of tobacco and a cherry tobacco and a fucking orange mango tobacco and all the things that they've been doing for many, many years. Big tobacco don't give a fuck about them.
No.
Because the general run-of-the-mill man in the street goes to the newsagents and buys his Sterling Jewel or his Benson Edges or his Embassy No. 1 or his fucking Silk Cuts, and that's where they're making the dough. So there's always an area for this niche thing, and if we can fit into that, we will. And if we can't, I'll bow out gladly. I will, and just say, well, our day's done, and we're moving on to different things.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think it does leave a massive gap in the factors like short fill and stuff like that would have to go back to where it was just a 100ml bottle with nicotine already in it, so they could reg it. I don't think they could ever get around where they'd say, well, you've got to fucking test your short fills because it's not containing nicotine. So I think they would, if it obviously in the Europe, obviously we're all under TPD in Europe, they would have to change the regulations in Europe. And when does that come in next year? Where they review it?
2020's review, yeah. So I think that'll be amongst. I think the tank size will probably go. I think that the nicotine and bottle size will probably go. And if the government have got anything about it, they will make them changes, because if someone's got a pay, I mean, mate, I've been in the wholesalers where people have got a 20 flavour short fuel range. I want to know how many of them people, how many could afford to put £20,000 into testing them without taking a punt on a shit flavour? Because you're going to get your flavours right. You're going to do your job properly and make sure when you put something to market that's cost you £1,000 before you've even sold one bottle of it. And then in the saturated market, you've then still got to break the market to sell it, to get it into distro and all them other things. How many will fall off the shelf? I don't know. We shall see.
A fair few. There won't be no fucking 20 flavour ranges and releasing 20 flavour ranges in fucking 90 different ranges.
Someone's already made a lot of money out of selling liquids, and they're very confident in what they're selling. And the thing about all them big companies they will know what their flavours, which ones they will know now, which flavours, if the regulation changed tomorrow, which flavours will we keep, which flavours will we drop like a shitty stick. And they will know that. And even V-Juice, when they regulated 67 flavours or whatever they'd done, they TPD'd 67 flavours, 40-odd thousand pound they spent. 40-odd grand. That was just on TPD. That was without the lab, without the bottling machine. Just on TPD cost was 40-odd grand. It might have even been 80,000. I know it was a stupid figure. But they dropped 30 flavours when they done that.
And they still spent 80 grand.
So they're still done just under 70 flavours. And it might have even been more than 30. I'm sure they were at 105 flavours. No, but before TPD, it's not an issue. If you only sell X thousand of the shittiest flavour, but you're doing 100,000 of your best flavour a month, it's just one of them things. You're just catering for a little bit of a wider audience. When you've got to start chucking a big chunk of money in to decide whether you're going to carry that flavour forward. Matt said to me right at the time, I know which ones are going, because I know the bottom 30, and actually out of this, if I'd have been Matt, quite frankly, I'd have probably took 25 flavours through and concentrated properly on them 25 flavours instead of covering for all these, because they've obviously got a top 10, they've got a top 20, they'll have a top 30. I personally wouldn't have took 60-odd flavours through, because 30 flavours can cover a fair old range of taste buds, including your tobaccos, your menthols, your ice menthols, your cherry menthols, and your blackcurrant menthols, and all of them sort of things. And even if there's 10 of them staple mouth-to-lung type flavours, another 20 mix and matches of their whatever they are. Obviously, Purple Rain was a menthol-based, eucalyptusy blackcurrant. Cherry was cherry tunes, cherry menthol. The Heisenberg, the Pinkmans, all them sort of standard run-of-the-mill type flavours. They're not the same as, they're all slightly different to everyone else's, but they're the ones that definitely would have went through. There's not a chance would I put 60-odd flavours through.
Yeah, it's mad.
But then they spent all that money and they bought 2 or 3 bottling machines at £100,000 a pop or whatever it was. And they went through a stage where one machine was doing all the 10 mils and the nick shots, and everyone else was back on hand pumps doing short fill. It was only in recent months where they got the short fill machine and spent all that money and put the lab in and everything else to be bottling short fill like there was previously, but with no nicotine in, because the regulations allow people to loophole it completely, and it just seemed madness to me.
Yeah, you did see a fair few people sort of like, yeah, TPD, we're doing TPD, and we're going to put all these flavors through and whatnot, and then overnight.
There was Ace of Apes, there was Juice Source, there was V-Juice, there was Prohibition, to name but a few of the top 5 there in the UK. Maybe that might not be right, but obviously Vampire Vape, who predominantly, although they've done a few short fill ranges, their businesses.
10 mils,
isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy, but we'll just have to. I think with how it's going, I think we just got to wait and see and just carry on as we are. And I think you bang on with the fact is that there is going to be that niche market because they don't want it, and it's who's going to be willing to stick with that niche market, because it's at the end of the day, these pop-up shops are going to have to go because they're not going to have any demand through the fact is that Tesco's now got everything you fucking stock.
No, well, where our Dudley shop is, one or two of the vape shops in the city centre have shut down in recent weeks, and we've seen an upturn in our takings instantly, which is a good thing for us. And I say, and anyone that's ever asked me how does Dudley do, it does okay. It wipes its face. It'll never make me a millionaire, and it's nothing like the way that Yardley performs regularly. But as long as it was never costing me money, I was happy to ride the wave. And actually, we're getting on for 18 months in now at Dudley, and it's starting to come to fruition because some of the people around there didn't have what we had behind us because of Yardley and because of Endless and because of what we've done for a longer period of time to be able to ride that way. And even before Christmas, we had people coming in just to buy nick shots because the shops were shotting off all the. I mean, we're talking like they were selling 60mm short fills for £2 in the shop just to clear it out.
Fuck.
And like we sell our nick shots for £1.50 in the shop as a nick shot. If you buy your liquid, you pay a penny. Now the liquid is the standard. Like for argument's sake, 6 licks is £23.99 for 100ml. So back in the day, it was £22.99, sorry, and then plus the nick shots another £3. So it was 26 quid, £24.99. Dr. Frost is the same. Now we sell it for £22.99. You get both nick shots for a penny. But if you come in and you want 2 nick shots, it's £1.50 a bottle. And we sold hundreds of bottles of nick shots before Christmas just because people have been over there, stocked up on this cheap shit that is available in the wholesalers, mate. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't stock it. I mean, it's more than £2. They've took a bit of a hit on it, but when you're clearing out like that, they're just literally selling it for whatever they can.
What can they get? Yeah.
So it's about how long can you ride the wave for? How deep are your pockets? I ain't gonna start losing money on any. The minute we start losing money on any shop, I'll shut the shop. I'm not gonna lose what we've made. Although I'm happy to still make decent money out of Yardley and ride a Dudley wave, which was just mediocre. I say it's made a profit. But nowhere near what Dudley's.
You've just got to be realistic, haven't you? In the day, you've got to be realistic with it. And, you know, we've seen people plowing 30, 40, 50 grand into shops, and you just think you haven't even made a penny yet, and you've plowed all that money into a shop.
It cost me about 65 grand to open Dudley with stock. Now, I've known people put 35 grand into a shop fit. And it's like, we've still got middle and vaping shelves up in the shop, mate. It's not my priority to have the nicest looking shop. I love Dudley's shop. I love the size of it. I love the layout of it. I hate the fact that it's underutilized because the market's changed. Do you know what I mean? So actually, we haven't got 10 and 12 people in there vaping on a Saturday anymore. We've got people coming in, they order their shit and they fuck off out because hanging around the vape shop isn't really a thing anymore. It just isn't. And that's not my shop. That most shops that I go into. I mean, Dale's done his thing up at the Yorkshire Vapor. He's put the bar in, he's put the games in there. And for me, it's about doing that different. I mean, I spoke to you last year about potentially turning Dudley into a micro bar that allowed vaping more so than a vape shop that you could buy a drink from. The thing for me with Dudley, that shop has potentially got a huge amount of potential because it's a massive shop. It's just off. It's literally one road beyond the high street, and as long as it's never costing me money to open the shop, I'd rather sit on that shop until I get the next brainwave of what I want to use the shop for. And I've got various things that I'd like to try in the shop, and maybe we'll do it this year, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That said, the way the takings have gone up over the last 8 weeks, there, I'm happy just to leave it as it is because actually it's probably doubled our profitability in the last 8 weeks. So, and it's still completely underperforming in conjunction with Yardley, but it's got to a point where it's not just wiping its face; it's bringing something to the party. And if that enables us to open a 3rd shop or a 4th shop, and that's still something I'm considering. There's people at the moment going, "Fuck that! I'm not opening another shop. It's saturated." I'm thinking, you know what? There's still areas where I believe we could take advantage by opening a shop over there, and with the same model that we've used in both the other shops, and make sure we've got the stock in, and make sure we're catering to the range of people that we cater to. I believe that we could still make a decent go of opening another couple, 2 or 3 shops. So we'll just see what this year brings, mate. I haven't got a master plan in mind. I'm just going to see how the first few months pan out. have a crack with the new mods for Endless. I've got some sample pod systems coming from China, where we can potentially do our own pod system not have to do a fucking 100,000 units. So that's good.
That's definitely a bonus.
And just see what happens over this year and try and best guess the way the market's going to go. I still don't think pods are selling. Like, for me, a Nautilus AO pod system is more. It's not a pod system. It is a pod system because it's got a pod on there that clicks in, but it's also got a changeable coil.
Yeah, the thing with us is a pod system to us. I would say us old is all in one.
Is them type of thing. The bow and all them where you fuck your pod off and you clip a new pod in and you crack on with it. As much as the Nautilus AO is a great device, in my personal opinion, it's not a pod system. It's actually a vape. It's a vape kit with a plastic tank instead of a glass tank. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I still don't believe pod systems will do what they need to do because the cost of them to run-of-the-mill vapor is out of sync with using one of them and just sticking your 10ml bottle in there. It's still a much easier and cleaner and better option for converting the smoker to that. And I've stood by that from day one. As a business, we badly sold pod systems because we're looking at them going, fuck me, that's expensive. Because we've now got into the mindset of converting the vaping cost to the new vaping cost. The person coming in who smokes is still smoking and they're still buying cigarettes. We've got to have that mindset to be able to say, this isn't the cheapest way of vaping, but it's the cleanest and most convenient way of vaping. And if that's what gets you on the journey of vaping, that's where I advise you start. Once you're in the habit of vaping, you're in the habit of charging your devices and making sure you've got spare pods and you've got liquid and everything else, then we can take you down a different path of vaping. But just to get you off the cigarettes, pod systems are brilliant for that. Nic salts are brilliant for that. But even Nic salts, I've got staff that will say, fuck me, they're expensive by comparison. They are, but they're still much cheaper than 20 cigarettes a day. And it's about us having that mindset to be able to sell the right gear to the right person and not about it being the most expensive, but just being the most correct. And that's what we've always tried to do that. But I believe we as a business lost our way with pod systems because even I was going, fuck, £4 for a pod with 1.2 mil of liquid in.
Because you're thinking it as you being a vapor in it, you know what I mean? Not as a smoker.
That's like a bottle and a fifth. So that's, I don't know, £4.80 for 12 mil. But you want that for fucking a pod, 1.2 milli. But actually, if you're using 1.2 mil a day, the chances are you're smoking 20 to 30 fags a day. If you're smoking 20 to 30 fags a day, you're spending between 10 and 15 quid a day. If you're spending £4 a day on a pod, you're 11 quid a day better off. 11 quid a day to some people's nothing, but it's 77 quid a week. It's fucking 8, 16, 24, 30, 320 quid a month. And it's £3,700 a year.
Fuck it, it's a lot doing it.
You're smoking 40 a day, them numbers double. You're smoking 60 a day, they triple. So you could be saving as much as 10 grand a year if you're smoking 60 a day.
Yeah, you take yourself away from that smoking mindset, don't you? Because you've been in vaping and you see how sort of not cheap it is, but the cheaper the options is from smoking.
Yeah, as I've gone down more vaping, I mean, for the first 12 months, mate, everything in our shop was about cost. It was never about health. I've said it many times because I didn't know what the health benefits were, apart from my own personal experience that I felt better vaping than I did smoking. So we never ever sold on health because I couldn't be sure that I was telling someone the truth. But I knew when I showed them a breakdown of you smoking 20 fags a day or you vaping the equivalent of 20 fags a day, there's your savings. And it was on our business cards and it started at 5 a day and it went up to 60 a day. And the savings at 60 a day at the time was 6,200 and something pounds because that's what I was saving. And that was including my device, my liquid, my replacement coils and replacement device every 12 weeks based on an ego pen, replacing a C4 tank every week or replacing a coil in the tank every week. And if you had a replacement coil, it also allowed you to replace the tank every 6 weeks for a brand new tank, which you don't need to do if you've got a coil system, unless you break it. It allowed for a new battery every 8 weeks, which you didn't need to do because they lasted longer than 8 weeks. But I put all of that into the sums and says, the worst case scenario that you replace your battery every 8 weeks, your tank every 4 weeks, your coil every single week, and you fill it up with liquid accordingly to vape 60 cigarettes, not even like 1 tank a day. If you're doing 60 fags a day, you're probably going to do 4 to 5 mil a day.
Yeah.
You're going to buy 10 mil bottle every 2 days, so that's £4. So that's built into the sums. Your replacement coil every week is built into the sums. Your replacement tank every month is built into the sums. Your replacement T4 is built into the sums. You'll still save £6,200 a year. Who wouldn't want £6,200 in the bank at the end of the year and still not feel like they particularly give up something that they felt they loved doing? Now we went away from that sales technique, and it was a sales technique, but for me it was the most. I still believe now that if most people give up cigarettes for financial reasons, or they've already been dealt a blow at the fucking hospital, because if or someone they know has been dealt a blow at the hospital, so therefore, you know what, we're giving up because we just found out Auntie Floss has got fucking throat cancer, so we're all going to give up smoking. Prior to that, we all know what the consequences potentially are, but we all still carry on smoking. And most people who come into our shop going, mate, I ain't spending 12 quid. I mean, my brother come here the other day, and I've given Steve in the last 6 months 2 or 3 different vape kits. And he said to me, Silk Cut, which he's smoked for many, many years, £12.20 a packet.
Wow.
So you do 60 of them a day, mate, and you're at 37 quid a day. £37 a day. I know heroin addicts that are only taking 30 quid's worth of heroin a day. I'm being serious. They're smoking 30 quid's worth of heroin a day, and everyone's like, no way, you fucking baghead. And potentially, there's people out there spending £37 a day on fucking getting themselves cancer. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So you put that conversion back into a pod system of even a £5 a pod, and you've got to buy 1 every day, or you've got to buy 3 every day because you smoke 60 a day. You're spending 15 quid on pods, or you're spending £37 on fags. There's still a £20 a day saving. It's still £140 a week. It's £560 a month. Therefore, you're still back to over £6,000 saving, even on a pod system. That's how we should be selling these pod systems, because once someone's in the mindset of vaping and they're charging their device every night and they've got their spare pod on them in the house, in the car, in the office, and they know what they're doing, it's much easier to have half an hour with them and say, right, instead of buying a packet of pods for 12 quid or 13 quid, you can buy this device for £24.99. You fill it up here. You can buy that liquid. It works out cheaper than your pods. You buy your coil. Packet of coils are 11 quid. You can change your coil every week. You've got 5 coils on you for £11. You've got your bottle of liquid, or 3 for a tenner. That'll last you a week to a week and a half if you're smoking 60 a day. Your device will last you all day, because there's not a pod system out there that will cater for a 60 a day smoker. None. Not the AO, the Nautilus AO. And I'm talking pod system. I'm not talking mouth to lung devices, because I've been using that now for 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, whenever we had them in. And genuinely, when I put it on charge, there's only 2 bars flashing every night, so I'm using about 2/5 of the charge a day in that. And I go through at least 2 tanks a day, sometimes 3. So I'm vaping 4 to 6 mil a day, which is quite a lot for mouth to lung vape. That's a constant chonging. Nowhere near I've ever got anywhere close to it running out of battery.
The problem I've got is, I think everything you said is perfect, but then you get fucking knobhead who's at work, who's sub-homing, tells fucking lad who's still smoking that he needs to have a sub-home device, and he needs to get this, he needs to get that, and he's educated him totally fucking wrong. So it's not necessarily just down to shops the way they're educating. It's also vapors the way they educate. You need this fucking smart bag kit because this is what I've got, and it blows massive clouds and it's awesome. You buy these big bottles of juices, last your fucking ages. You know what I mean? The education is also not there from the vapor side as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'm genuinely, and I'm not saying I'm the best salesman in the world, but actually I normally tell the people the right kit. And I have lots of people who come in, and whenever I'm in the shop, I always like to do a sale because it's a nice feel-good factor to convert someone. Unless they're adamant after me explaining everything about mouth-to-lung vaping, and even when they've said, oh, I didn't realise there was 2 different styles of vaping, I'll say, well, that one's about lung inhaling and clouds and flavour. This one's about stopping smoking and replacing the need for a cigarette. If they're still adamant they want a vape kit that blows clouds, I'll sell them one. I know that 9 out of 10 of them will come back and say, "You're fucking right, mate. Can I buy a tank to screw on this mod, or do I need to buy another kit or whatever?" But I would say 8 out of 10 people that come in saying, "Oh, Dave at work said I should get this," when I've explained to them what's what, and that the fact is that I'm 6 years in using a mouth to lung. And I always say, and it's not because I'm being pretentious, I can have anything I want in that shop because it's all mine. I choose to use an AO, and I did for nearly 2 years because it worked for me. And I could have took the most expensive mod in the shop. We had Goyas in there at fucking, we had some of the Complives at fucking £360. I had them, but I had them at home that I used to fuck about with and blow a cloud. I was still using this.
Yeah.
And I know they're thinking, well, if the gaffer's got a £25 divorce, it can't be that bad. And you know yourself, mate, genuinely as a friend, that I've never just like waved an AO around to sell AOs. It's what I use.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you've had 4 or something.
I've not used my AO since I've got this, and it's up there on the shelf next to where I sit. I've not used it since I've got this, and I was only thinking yesterday. I've not changed the coil in this since I've had it. So I'm 3 weeks in on one coil, and it's just got a bit to the point where I feel like it's struggling. Saying that, I'm looking at my air rolls and I'm thinking some of my air rolls might be fucking caked in shit.
But for you to put that through its paces and know it's still working and stuff like that, the education that you're giving out is fucking bang on because you've done it yourself. And there is people out there that won't give the right information out.
The quality smoothest mighty long tank I've ever vaped on. But it doesn't give me something the AO gives me. But I'm not sure I need that something more than I like this tank.
Mm.
And actually, the flavour of this, I would say, is better than the AO. And yet, I've always banged on about how good the AO is. And I still think the AO, compared to an old school Nautilus, is better by a decent amount. But I'm really, really impressed. I even last night, instead of using, I don't know if you can even see on there because of how dark it is. But that's the air holes to the mouth to lung. So it's about 5 individual holes. And then if I go round to the subbone, it's a slot. So it's not about just, it's a completely different side of the tank. So I felt like yesterday I was vaping it with the slot just slightly open. So it's a bit airier. And I feel like that's a bit more like the AO because the AO, I don't know.
It's quite wide, isn't it? The AO.
I mean, you can get down to 1 hole on the Pro because the Pro's got much better airflow control than on the standard AO box. It's just the last few days I've been feeling. It's probably a call, mate. I'm 3 weeks in. I ain't changed my call because I fucking spending £3 on a smoke 60 fucking stinkies about. I haven't got a packet of AO calls in my house. I'm not even going to lie, and that's why I haven't changed it. So it's not because I'm being a tight cunt. It's just that I haven't got them, and yet I've got AO calls. So yesterday I was even tempted to put a new AO call in my AO and go back to the AO, but I like this tank. And even like I vape in the managing director's office at work, and when I'm on the AO, he's quite crackly. It's not spitter; it does crackle though.
Yeah.
Even when it's not putting liquid in your mouth. And when he had that accident I was on about the other week when he fell down the stairs, since then he's got like this mad fucking super heightened sensitivity to background noise. Not even if we're talking loud or whatever. Like we're downstairs in his office and he's got quite a big office, and then upstairs there's 4 or 5 people up there. And one of the blokes who works in the office, while he's working away, will often go and he's downstairs going, fucking hell, man, why is he humming? And I'm like, I didn't even hear him, you mad geezer. I've noticed when I take a drag on my AO, he can be on his computer and he's like wincing, as if like, fucking hell, look, it's deafening him. And I spoke to him a few weeks ago about it. Well, he was saying to me, do you need to use that all the time? And I said, no, it's just habit. I said, does it bother you when he's vaping in the office? It's never been spoke about before. I just used it. He said, I don't mind you using it. He said, but the fucking noise is driving me mad.
Fucking hell.
I used this today, and obviously I only had it just before we broke for Christmas, and I was vaping away, and actually I noticed that he wasn't doing it because it's not when he's looking at me, he can be looking away from me, and every time I started taking a drag, I'd look at him and I'd see him like sort of fucking wince, and he weren't doing it today. So that, I mean, this tank genuinely, it's quiet, man.
Yeah, I think it's mint. I do think I've not tried it in Maltalung. I've tried it in Suburban, and I think it's mint in Suburban. I want to try it in Maltalung though, 100%.
So it's such a smooth, quiet, it's a very, very smooth vape, and certainly with the 5 volts, he's much smoother than even having the Suburban one slightly cranked.
Because it's not mega airy, is it? Even I mean, don't know if you've tried it.
I've got my holes fully open. I've got 5 holes fully open. I don't even know if you can see it on that.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm using all of the Maltalung air holes, and it's still tighter than one hole on the air.
I tell you what's special about that. I like how child safety it is when the bottom comes off. I think that is when the bottom when you're changing your coil.
Full system, so you screw the top of the cap up, which I don't know if you can see. So there's a slight gap now between the top and the tank.
Yeah, I can see that perfect.
And then you slide the whole thing open. With this drip tip, he's only got a really short. In fact, do you know what it is? The drip tip don't fit down the hole properly, because I bit the plastic one that come with it yesterday, and it broke, and I've had to take that out of my billet box. So it just slides open, and then you fill it through the rubber.
Yeah, and have you done that? When you change the coil?
Change your coil. You've got like a pressing safety feature, haven't you, on it?
It takes off the 510, and then you can't get into the coil unless you push it. And I think that feature for me is absolutely banging.
It's good for kids. It's a fucking ball out to change coil. I'm not gonna lie. You need to have mega fucking.
Because if you don't do it, you're spinning that like cog, aren't you? And it just grooves into your fucking hands. But you've just got to push it and then throw it through. But child safety wise, I think that is definitely one of the best features. I've never seen anything like that.
Really, really well thought out tank.
It is banging. Right. We're going to have to get on. Somebody asked in the chat, so we're going to have to talk about it before we go. I didn't really want to talk about it. We've had a nice night and we didn't really talk about it, but Vupu drama. Let's have a little 2 minutes about this. So there's a bloke called Ben Phillips out there. He's was a Facebook sort of Vine person. He's gone over to YouTube platform and he's done a video where the Vupu has sponsored his video. And I just want to say this before we get out there. You cannot put liquid helium into a fucking sub tank. It's fake. It's a fake video. It's just, they've sponsored his video and it's fake. And everyone's gone absolutely fucking batshit. Like all the groups are speaking about it. I've got people, I'm in some American groups, they're all going batshit on the American groups. YouTubers are doing videos about fucking boycott Vupu again. Paul, do you give a fuck? What is your opinion?
And we had a brief chat. You messaged me earlier and says, "Oh, have you seen the Vupu thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not interested." And he's like, "About smoke vaping helium?" Yeah, I've seen it. I'm not really interested. I'm not interested. Not true. I'm more concerned about the impact it has initially on America, because they will ultimately govern what happens in the UK, whether that be in 18 months' time or 2 years' time or 3 years' time. And is it an opportunity to now all of a sudden say, oh my God, this sub-ohming is bad for people? You can't use sub-ohming because you've now got to use a Juul, because Juul is now owned by Big Tobacco, and Big Tobacco line the pockets of the American government. So there could be all sorts of reasons for this happening. I understand why the Yanks get the Yanks get super excited about anything, let's be honest. But I'm of the opinion now where it is what it is, man. Like I said before, I've seen people smashing up an IQOS who I know is smoking 20 fags a day. I don't get what the point is. Every man and their dog was going to fucking boycott Vupu when they fucked over the vaping bogan. And they haven't. They're still using them, and they still make a decent device. Their chipset, in my opinion, is still the best chipset on the market for that value of mod. That's my personal opinion. I think the Vupu chipset, the Genie chip, I think it is the best chipset for that 60-odd-ish pound price range mod. We sell them. They sell well. We've not had a single drag returned, as far as I'm aware, in that shop at all since day one. So they're not making. I've seen someone today say, oh yeah, they make shit mods. They're shit anyway, and I'm like, they're actually not shit mods. They're not.
These are people who have never fucking even had one.
No, I mean there was someone who I'm not even going to mention the name, but there were comments on it saying they're not shit. They're actually for me the best chip for the money. They're as robust as any other mod out there. The firing time on their chipset is fucking second to none, man. It's quality. That chipset is really, really good in that mod. I don't care what review you are. If you think it's shit, it can't be about the way the mod performs. It can only. I don't like the look of a drag mod, if I'm being honest. I don't like the fact that it said drag on the back of the fucking thing. I don't understand why they didn't put two resin doors on there, but they didn't. But it's still gold because it's still good. It still looked different to what was out there, and it still does its job. And
what annoyed me was the biggest thing wasn't the video, wasn't people slagging Vupu off. That wasn't really fuss to me because people get slagged off daily. It don't matter who you are, you're going to get fucking hated. You're going to get hated. What the annoyance for me is there was reviewers and people on Facebook and stuff saying this guy, this Ben Phillips, all his videos are aimed at kids, supposedly all aimed at kids. And why ain't his video for this age restricted? You can age restrict so your kids can't see these type of videos. And these are YouTube reviewers who ain't got age restricted channels, and they're talking about vaping day in, day out. If you're that bothered about age restricting fucking vaping to kids, why the fuck aren't your channels age restricted? That's what fucked me off about it.
I don't give a fuck if 20,000 of their subscribers are 13. Let's be honest.
And they're giving the whole like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean people today have been saying what they feel they should be saying. And there's some people out there that are genuinely passionate about that. And I say, and in essence, I don't believe that video should have been aired on that channel by that person. If it was aired on an adult vaping channel, and then somewhere in the body of the video it said that actually this was just a joke and da 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 da, it's different. There's going to be kids out there trying to squeeze helium out of a balloon into a vape tank. There is that's the truth of it. I know you can't use liquid helium in the vape tank, but I know you can carbonate beer with helium, and you can drink beer and you can talk funky. Can you not get helium into the liquid via gas?
Mm.
I don't know because I'm not a chemist. But all the people saying, "Oh my god, they were vaping liquid helium," it's about minus 200 and fucking something degrees. You just shatter the tank. So it's not that. So if it was just a pure prank video, then I understand why people have got concerns about going out on that particular channel, whose channel is nigh on dedicated to sub 18-year-olds. Let's be frank. I mean, they're saying that his demographic is between the ages of 15 and 25. I'd imagine the bigger number is under the age of 18, which is, and in some states, I think is it 21 to vape in some states.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Either way, his biggest demographic of people are under the age of 18. Should it have gone out on his channel? No. Should have Vupu used him as advertising? Why not? It's not that. It's not up to them to regulate what a review does with their mod. Now, I don't believe they've endorsed, just because they've sponsored a video doesn't mean they've endorsed it.
Yeah, he's not even a vape. It's just a comedy channel. That's all he is. And they've obviously he's saying that Vupu has sponsored his channel. He's got 4.1 million subscribers. If he's going to promote a mod and then have a joke about it, yeah, I honestly don't get it. If you're wise and realize that it's basically fake. This video is fake and it's meant to get this reaction. This is what they want. They want the reaction. So then everybody starts shouting off Vupu. It's free fucking marketing. Everybody starts going mental. Sales in mods will go up because everybody now knows who fucking Vupu are. So as we've said, when you see posts about people venting batteries and every fucker shares it around Facebook and we say, don't share it because all you're doing is sharing negativity towards vaping. Well, that's exactly what fucking 99% of people on Facebook have done.
I would say that 80% of people had to Google what ICOS was when the ICOS shit hit the fan. 100%. And I would say out of them 80% of people, even if only 5% of people said, actually, this might work for my mum because she can't use a vape and I don't want to smoke in cigarettes. They gain sales from it. Now, I'm not against anyone using a heat not burn device. It's not my issue. My issue is I do not believe it belongs in a vape shop. That's just a personal thing because we're selling vaping products. Now, I've seen many arguments saying, well, it's a gateway to vaping. It's also a gateway of getting off cigarettes. And I agree with all of that, but I don't believe it belongs in our shop. That's my opinion. Because it's more Natasha's shop, we can make them decisions, and it's one that I'll stand by. I can honestly say I'll never ever sell a heat not burn device in the shop. And if I ever got to the point where I'm considering it, our business is done. And we don't sell CBD for that same reason. I'd rather spend 20 grand kitting out a shop and have a CBD shop because I know we'd smash it. The reality is I don't know enough about it to put my heart and soul into it and make it work as it should. So I'm not against these products. I don't believe it fits into our industry. It fits into the overall realms of the industry ethos, which is not people not smoking cigarettes. It doesn't fit into me telling someone when I have to put a product that we're selling inside the shotgun cabinet because it's a tobacco product, it shouldn't be in our shop.
True.
That's my personal opinion on it. I'm saying, and I'm not slating anyone that chooses to sell it. I know that ICOS have got some massive schemes for people that sell their products. I ain't got an issue with someone selling it. I would never fall out with someone selling it. I would tell whoever it is that I don't believe it should be in a vape shop. But it's just everyone chooses to run their business differently. But all that shitstorm with even people kicking off saying they shouldn't be at Vapor Expo. I don't believe that they should be at Vapor Expo. They maybe should be at a smoking cessation expo. They shouldn't be at Expo not at the Vapor Expo. They shouldn't be, in my opinion. But the fact that they were there and the fact so many people kicked off about it just gives them some sort of exposure to the very market that they're aiming their product to.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, when they go to Vapor Expo, they're paying top dollar to be there. Absolute top dollar. So you can't. What are you going to say to an organizer? No, don't charge them 30 grand for a stand because guess what? We don't want them here.
I'd imagine ICOS's stand is a good chunk of dough, man. Probably upwards of 50,000 quid.
Easy.
If I was running the Vapor Expo and I got offered 50 grand off someone, you've got to be in a pretty good position to say, no, I don't need your money, mate. And then also, you've also got to think that the people that run the expos, whether that be the Vapor Expo or whether it be Jam or whether it be Manchester or whatever, they might have a different mindset to me on ICOS products. So it might not even go against their ethos. On that basis, I get that everyone's different and I get that everyone's opinion's different. My opinion's my opinion. I can't change it where that's concerned. The bottom line is people that sell it are trying to just cover a bigger demographic of sales. There's no other reason for having the ICOS in there. Now there's people I've heard say, yeah, but I'd rather them use that than vape. Mate, it's about money. It's about getting that extra sale, that extra repeat customer. If that's the case, sell cigarettes as well.
Yeah, sell bongs and Rizzlers and grinders
as well. You can sell to your vape, you can sell to your heat not burn, and you can sell to your smoker.
True. And just get some drinks and some fucking crisps and open up a corner shop.
Well, get some bog rolls and get some fucking tampons and some condoms and some chewing gums and newspapers, dog food, cat food, shampoo. Knock yourself out and open a fucking supermarket. Just cover more people.
It's true, isn't it? It's very, very.
Thoughts on the voodoo thing? It's not enough to make me get up today and go and get a fucking drag out the shop and smash it to be with a rubber mallet.
It's just exposure. It's going to make more sales in the long run anyway, because now everybody's talking about it. Everybody who's on anyone's Facebook who don't know what a fucking voodoo is now searching voodoo on Google. Going, what is a voodoo? So they're going to find out what that is if somebody vapes in their family. Oh, just there's that mod that's everyone's talking about. It's there. It looks all right. Get it. Sale. Done. Just want to mention a quick one, just away from Vupu. In the news today, came out today, and this is not vaping, it's CBD. Obviously, you did mention a little bit of CBD. CBD is now legal in the US, but it's now governed by the FDA. So let's see what happens over there. So you're free to buy CBD oils and CBD bud, but they're now regulating it by the FDA. So let's see what happens over here, because as we said before, shit always comes back over here when they regulate over there. So, well, one last thing before we go. We've got status of the week. I've had 2 weeks to look at your statuses, but there was one this week that I commented on it. Yes. Yes. And this status just cracked me up. I knew straight away, as soon as I saw it, I was like, do you know what? There is people like this. And it says, if you've worn a foot clone snapback while wearing a fake Rolex, you're a grade A prick. Truth. You
know what, mate? What are you doing? What?
It was the charge for this.
The charger's plugged in. The switch don't work. The phone's plugged into the USB on the plug socket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the switch won't turn that off. Why would you want to turn the phone off?
I was seeing if the switch is on for it.
No, you must need to turn the lead round or something. Mate, I've put it before. I remember putting in Cypher Vapors, who are obviously very anti-clone. Is it acceptable to eat cheese whirls from Aldi when they're blatant clones of fucking Quavers? And like, where do you draw the line with this whole elitist thing of we're only going to use authentic products? Now, actually, Damien commented on that, and I said to Damien, "Listen, I posted this obviously for a reaction because that's me, but genuinely, I don't understand where people's lines of acceptances on what is considered a clone product." So, and Damien genuinely replied back and says, "My friends don't make fucking crisps." So then I replied back to him, and it was like he weren't even being funny with me, and I just says to him, "So is this more a personal thing about your circle of people losing IP finances because someone stole their idea, as opposed to this general banner of, oh my God, it's not authentic?" And I think, and if that's what you're saying, and that is your morals, then it might not be mine is do whatever the fuck you like.
Yeah.
But if you're going to moan about someone copying a device, certainly to the level they do on Safer Vapors, which is quite extreme, because and that says it's their thing, it's what they do, it's how they run the group. And out of any group on Facebook, I'd say they raise the most money by far on charity. So they've got this group of people that are very like-minded in the way that they think. However, when they need to, they come together as a group better than any other group out there. But then some of them people are using Cody boxes to watch the boxing. Some of them people are downloading MP3 music where the artist is not getting paid for their song. Some of them people are walking around in fucking Bayran sunglasses. Some of them people are walking around in fucking snide Nike trainers. Some of them people are walking around in snide Lacoste t-shirts. But they're using a £500 mod because that's what that group says they should be using. Now, that's where it causes an issue to me. As I said right from the get-go, we sold clone product in that shop. And even when we stocked up and spent tens of thousands of pounds on authentic stock, I still kept the clone side of it because it was still a part of our business. And yes, it was about keeping the customer, but it was also about keeping my existing customers serviced in the manner which we'd always serviced them. For me to all of a sudden say, sorry, we can no longer give you this product anymore, you're going to have to go to another shop, when they've supported what we've done and give us a lifestyle that we got through having that business, didn't sit right with me personally. That said, I didn't have an issue with the likes of Evo that used to sell clone, who then went fully authentic. I understand why they done that, and it also made them grow to the level that they grew. That was, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but it was one of the things that allowed them to deal with certain companies because they no longer stock the clone, which then enables them to have a bigger product range, which enables them to do what they've done, and they've done it fantastically well. And actually, say me and James go back a long way to before James's shop was opened, and to see what they've achieved at that company for me is fantastic. And so I've drove past James's place without even popping in there to go to V Juice because it's next door. I've never once drove past and thought, fucking hell, man, I could have a fucking Porsche or I could have the Lamborghini or whatever. I always think it's fucking mint to see that they've gone from what they did. Like I said, I can remember standing in James' shops just a few weeks in after opening saying, fucking hell, I thought it would have done more than this in a day. And I said to him, mate, I know that you will do what you need to do. I can tell by the way you shop, is the products that you sell. More importantly, the way that you sell their products. And it was that same ethos as us, which was, I'm not here to rip someone off. We're here for the long term. We're here to get as much repeat business as we can. We're going to service them properly, sell them the right device at the right money, and back that up with a customer service that's exceptional. And they do that. And all them things combined enable them to become what they've become. But one of the things was, when there's no way you can be a distro on that level when you're selling clone products, because there's other people that will not supply you because you're selling clone products. It's hindered us as a business. So there's products we couldn't stock because we had the clone version of it. Now, I've never ever dropped a clone to stock an authentic. The reality is I can get most authentic in my shop back door if I have to, and go against the grain completely and just fucking skip the distro. And I can do that, but I choose not to because I don't want to go to war with people over this. I'm just doing what I think's right for our business. If that means I can't stock a certain authentic product, I don't stock it. Because I can't change what we were, and we are what we are. We do what we do. We've done it the way we've done it right from day one. Nothing's changed in the way that we've operated that business, and nor will it. And it would be the difference of us having a decent resale value to big tobacco and not having a big resale value. Now, if we get to the point where we no longer stock clone and we only stock authentic and all of that malarkey, you can rest assured I'm gearing up to sell out to some fucker. And if that's what I have to do at that point, I've already made the decision that I'm going anywhere. While I'm there actively servicing our customers and the community that we built around our business, then we'll do what we do. And I've got no axe to grind with anyone that does it differently. I don't understand why they have an axe to grind with me over it, because people do what they want to do the way that they do best, and that's it. The thing that I don't like about all of it is the hypocriticalness of it all. Like I say, if you stood there in a fucking snide Lacoste t-shirt, vaping your mod, going fuck all clones, mate, you're a prat.
It's true.
So that was the essence of my status, is that this industry is full of snakes, it's full of arseholes, it's full of cunts, it's full of hypocrites. It's full of some proper, nice, genuine people as well. More so than all the other bits combined, you know what I mean? I've made some really good friends out of it. Like I said in my status the other day about the new year, I'm not harping on about last year, this year. What's done is done. There's people that I thought would be friends forever that I'm no longer friends with. And there's people that I consider friends that I never thought I'd be friends with. The way that I work with people probably will always be different, because we've always been fairly successful at doing what we do ourselves. I don't need to try and ride someone else's wave. I don't need to get into bed with someone else to make more money. I'm happy with what we're doing. That said, and like I've always said, if working with someone else can benefit both of us, I'll do it gladly. But I don't need people hanging off my ass to try and better their business. I've put too much into my business to give them the benefit of just giving them something in the relationship. If the relationship works two ways, I'm happy to work with people. There's been people I've seen this year get exceptionally mad that the people that they've tried to work with hasn't panned out the way they wanted it to. If that had happened, if I'd have ranted every time that happened in the last 5 years, mate, I'd be doing a rant today. I mean, I've been serious. I mean, at the end of the day, I've lived and I've learned, and as much as I've worked with some people that I thought we could set the world on fire and didn't quite work out, I haven't took to Facebook to rant about it. I've just learned a lesson from it, and I've changed the way that I've done things. And one of the biggest things I've changed is that my priorities will come first in whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if by doing that someone else can get a benefit and I can get a mutual benefit from that, I'll do it gladly. I'm not carrying no cum. That doesn't mean I'm going to shit on them. Doesn't mean I'm going to try and trip them up. It doesn't mean that I'm anti them. It just means that you do your thing, let me do mine, and in the middle, there's a bit of common ground where we can be friends, or we can be associates, or we can say hello, or we can shake hands at expos or whatever. I haven't got to be up someone's arse to be their pal.
No.
Pal being inverted commas an acquaintance through this business. So I've made a handful of friends that I consider friends, people that I think I could phone up at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the shit. And them same people could call me at any time of the day or night, and I'd be there for them 100%. I know hundreds of people through this industry, lots of them that I like, lots of them that get my time at Expo because I enjoy their company. I don't consider them best friends.
No.
I'd never dream of messaging them and saying, mate, I'm in the shit, I need to borrow a couple of grand until the end of the month. There's other people that I'd do that gladly with, and they could do it gladly with me. Do you know what I mean? So I've just learned to differentiate between someone that's become an acquaintance stroke associate through the industry and someone that I consider a friend. And that's it. And there's no animosity anymore. I'm past all that. I'm not spending the year jibing about what happened last year. I'm genuinely going to try and be more positive in my statuses. That said, if anything I put on my status offends you, you can just know I'm at home smiling. I mean, it's done what I set out to do. It's not personal. It's just what it is. It's just what I am, and that's it. But I will try and put at least one very positive status a week up. That said, I had a memory today from the 2nd of January last year saying my status was, this year I will do everything I can to be more positive. Please note, everything I can. He's like, obviously it's quite loose. I'll try. I failed miserably last year at doing that. But this year I'm not going to be about trying to fucking backstab and bitch and bite and all that. If my statuses go up and they offend you, just delete me. Even have a rant at me via inbox or on my status before you delete me. But just fuck off, because there's going to be more of that coming, because that's just what I am. But that said, I want to focus on what we're doing and the way that we're doing it, and do what we're doing the best that we can. And I don't want to waste time worrying about what anyone else is doing. And just get on and do their business. Let me do mine, and everyone will be happy.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Right, well, someone's enjoying Fortnite in your house.
I've never played a game of it ever. I've never even took the controller and played it. It's not
the girls are like, come on, Dad, have a go tonight. Go on, Dad, have a go tonight.
I'd rather watch someone play it who's good at it than actually play it badly. And it's just not my thing, so I'd never ever put enough effort in to try and play it. What are you doing? No, it wasn't random. You're kicking the floor and messing about. Yeah, it's not my thing, but the kids are playing it.
Well, they're enjoying it. So, right, we're getting off. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody who joined in.
Happy New Year to everyone that's tuned in, anyone that's watching on playback. I do want to try and do one a month where it's just a complete random show.
We can do that.
We just have a reminisce and a chat and a bullshit.
And we need to hit this year. This year, I'm saying we need to hit at least 1,500 subscribers. So everybody that hasn't subscribed, we're currently on 454 subscribers. So anybody who hasn't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and share the link about. I want to get up to at least 1,500 this year. We'll be doing a lot more stuff on the channel. As I say, Paul wants to get like people on, and we'll have like a random show once a month and just have a little bit of banter like we have tonight and stuff like that. And then obviously we do our new shows and whatnot. But I want everybody to sort of get involved in that. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are sat in chat that would make a little great appearance and give us their opinions on stuff and just have a laugh. So that's what we want to do this year. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Take it easy.
Peace.